What's up, guys? It's your boy the Fice, back at it with another video. But before we get this started, if it's your first time here, definitely be sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment. Come join us on Discord. You see Sky over here in the background. Come follow us on Twitch. That's where we stream live. We also stream live on YouTube. Also, if you wanted to support the channel, we don't have YouTube monetization, unfortunately, so check out the YouTube description below. We have a Patreon link and we have an Etsy link for a store. We have coffee mugs and t-shirts and more things on the way. So let's get into it, guys. The video is going to be a guide on how to build a Necromancer. This is the best guide, honestly, in my opinion, because I'm going to show you the way I built it, and I'm even going to show you how you fight the last boss in the game here, and I'll go up to like the second, third, and fourth if you guys want to, or I could put it in a separate video, or I could show two of the boss fights so you guys can get an idea. I don't want to make the video too long, but you guys can get an idea, like, this is how I built each phase, which I think it'll be a pretty good thing to kind of see this happen. But let's get into the stats about this character. So we're first going to talk about what he's about. Then we're going to talk about like the supplies I used. Then we're going to talk about the items or the traits when you're leveling that you should try to go for. And then after that, we'll talk about the cards and so on and so forth. So I'm going to break it down into separate sections so you guys can see what's up. So first, let's talk about the skills here. So he's a necromancer. He summons skeletons to fight by his side. The number and power of skeletons depends on the necromancer's equipment and skills. So these are the class stats that he has: attack speed, regeneration, evade, defense power, summon quality, skeleton power, and there's another one that they're not saying, which is known as max skeletons. So you can use basically the items that he has is like 2 rings, a necklace, and a book by default. You can spec into it where you can do summon quality and max skeletons for the rings. Like those, the main things you're gonna care about, guys, is going to be the amount of skeletons you can summon, the quality of them, and also the skeleton power, the skeleton level. Now, the most I summoned or I try to go for, I've actually gone up to 7. And the reason I've gone up to 7, and I'll explain that all with the cards, is because eventually as I was grinding, I got the arsenal card. And I was able to get an extra item to do that. But I don't put that part of my set. So I was able to get 7 skeletons. You'll be able to learn how you get this amazing build. But what you're going to care about is you're going to want to have your summon quality for your skeletons to be around 80%, at least, somewhere around there. You're going to want to have the max skeletons being at least over 5 to 6. That would be the ideal situation. You want at least 1 ranged in the back. That would be pretty good. And then the skeleton power level will increase as best as you can. Usually you're going to try to focus on the book to make that happen, and try to use the other points in the other items if you can. And if you can't, and you're able to find a good grimoire or book that can also use the max skeletons, you can do that. But that's where a lot of the skeleton leveling is going to be coming from, or the trait that you spec into. So those are the things you're going to care about. 80% on summon quality. You're going to want to have at least 3 items that are going to have the max skeleton with summon quality. And then after that, you're going to focus on the skeleton power, guys. That's how you're going to build the Necromancer when it comes to the stats. So the next thing we're going to definitely talk about are the supplies. So let's get into it. All right, guys, I don't want to kill too much time on this because this looks like a lot of stuff. I'm going to kind of hint at some of the really good things that you can have with a Necromancer. It's a little scattered because I like having early build capabilities just in case I don't get something like Residual Heal, which is going to be really nice. But if we go from the top, potions is really good for Necromancer. Sturdy stool, you could actually stack these up to 5 to get 1 full health point. So if you do get that regen, it really is good to have that. Dinner table, to me, in my opinion, is actually the best thing because it increases the loop HP for passing through the campfire. And with the residual heal and laying down 1 life combo for the traits, this will help a lot. So stacking this up to a point would be really good to have, guys. If I go to the tools really quick, I definitely do love having defense for the Necromancer. It just really helps him with sustain, even though if he's splitting the damage across the skeletons. It's really good for that type of stuff. I only use shoe nails just because like I couldn't get more of those. But I do like blacksmith hammer. Jeweler's lens is really good to help find rare items, so I definitely do like that. And because we stacked some HP, some potions, I added like 2 things of herbalist sickles to increase the potion healing. But I would probably say, yeah, blacksmith hammer, jeweler lens, herbalist sickle is really awesome here. If we go to the food, cheese is so good for the necromancer on sustain, so I did that, and I put smoked ham just because like we're not using meadows, and having 15 extra health every time the sun sets, it's good. If I had more cheese, I probably would be putting the cheese, but this really does help with sustain, at least later on when you start getting all the traits that you need. And then for the treasure, I would probably say put 1 candle for sure, and then if you wanted to stack maybe some of the boss items just to increase the damage output done to the boss, you can do that, and then that would be pretty much it for those. So those are kind of like the baselines I would say that you would use when you're focusing on doing Necromancer when it comes to this section, guys. All right, so the next part we're going to talk about is the cards. Let's talk about the tiles, guys. All right, guys, so we're going to go into the tiles. This is cool. This is the part where it actually gets a little bit interesting, and I'll actually give you some insight on some of the things that I've learned when I've been grinding in various scenarios with Necromancer. I've learned with Necromancer that Ruins is pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal with Necromancers because they start shooting us from afar, and they shoot us really fast, and they do a lot of damage. So I actually unselected them when I'm running Necromancer. Village is good because obviously you can get some healing from it. It definitely helps you, with your sustain and all that good stuff. So I definitely do like having Village available. I think I use Village in just about all my builds. It's a good sustain, and you get these quests, and you get a good chance to get items or whatever. Combining it with the Vampire Mansion is really good because it makes it more powerful to heal once it resets. Now, the one thing I will voice to you when you're working with Necromancer is, or just in general in the last phase of the game where you're fighting all the bosses like 33% of the way, don't drop a second village or a secondary village, because every time bandits will be populated on the secondary, so it'd be like 2, 4, 6. So every time it's an even number, a bandit section will drop in one of the villages. Don't drop a secondary village unless you have an Oblivion card or one of the villages already transformed into a village that's protected by vampires, because then those bandits actually will not spawn. In my playthrough of it, they don't spawn if they go into a village that actually is protected by vampires, which is interesting. But avoid doing that, because the thing with the later stage is that the bandits can destroy your items. They could actually destroy the items that you have equipped. So it's very scary to fight those. Even though they're souls, it's just too much of a risk if you have really good items. So definitely when you're dropping villages, just be cognizant or be conscious of like, do I have an Oblivion card to destroy this or whatever? And I'm going to say this, even though I'm trying to go down through the list the same way, I will say the same thing when you're dropping thickets. Be very mindful of when you're dropping thickets. In the early game, you're not going to care about, because you're going to be under like 200-300% attack speed. But once you start going really high on attack speed, the wooden villages that have the wooden clones that can that counterattack you when you attack, you're going to be summoning skeletons so fast that eventually your Necromancer is going to want to attack them himself. And when he does that, he is going to be taking a buttload of damage. It's going to be too much that you're going to kill yourself. So in the early stages, having the wooden villages is nice. I would just probably have 1 at most, or 2 at most. I would probably say 1, because you're going to want to clear them out as soon as possible. And just make sure you have Oblivion cards when you're using the thickets, especially end game. You do not want to start planting these thickets aggressively and you don't have an Oblivion card when your attack speed is going to be 200 to 300%, because you will kill yourself if you face them. So be mindful of that, guys. Battlefield is really amazing, guys. It's absolutely, I honestly think it's one of the top tier cards in the game, because this card has a good potential to give you the Arsenal gold card when you don't have it equipped. It has happened to me twice, and in this video you'll see that I've also got it unlocked while I had Ancestral Crypt giving me the max HP. So have Battlefield equipped. It really is good for that really good chance of getting the Arsenal card, which is an extra item that you get to basically get more defense, because they give you a shield. So the Necromancer now has defense and can actually take damage, and doesn't only split it with the skeletons, he nerfs it. So it's a really good combination to have Battlefield just in the set in general. So then after that, I have Smith's Forge, which helps you so much with just the overall damage protection right before fighting a boss, guys. If you plant this like early on before the campfire, before you loop in, or right on the campfire, it's just really nice to have that extra damage. You do sacrifice 2 items in your inventory, but honestly, we always overload and just keep throwing it up as resources. So why not use the Smith's Forge to help you fight some bosses when you need it? And when the loops start getting really difficult in certain areas, you can throw a Smith's Forge in there. It eventually will spawn an Armored Knight, but the Armored Knight actually dies really quick with the Necromancer because you have so many people attacking him. So the Armored Knight actually doesn't pose too much of a threat as you would think he would. He actually is really easy to kill. So it's worth getting this extra damage reduction item just right before you fight the boss, or in certain areas of the loop where you're starting to struggle and you see your character needing a bit of a boost. So it's really good to have that. Outpost is not bad. I was doing it because I was doing something else, guys. I honestly probably wouldn't even have Outpost personally, so you can uncheck that. I was doing it for another video. The other thing I would say, guys, I mean, you can if you want, it doesn't hurt, but you have skeletons that you're going to be using, so it's not really great you don't need it. It's not a requirement part of this. Obviously, forests and thickets with a combination of river to increase the adjacent tiles for more attack speed. You'll be seeing that. We're going to be laying the rivers and the forest like crazy. We're going to get our attack speed actually up to 400% when we fight the final boss. So that's going to be really good. But like I said, don't plant forest trees down unless you have an Oblivion card to destroy a wooden village when you're in the mid to end game section. Early game, you could let it slide a bit, but you know, kind of just be cautious there. We have Beacon. Treasury we don't really use. I don't think it's actually a necessity. It is a soul type card. You can use it if you want, but honestly, I probably could go without it and it'll be perfectly fine. Ancestral Crypt is what you're going to want to equip, because every time you kill a card that is a soul, like the Grove is rat wolves, those are souls. The vampires are souls. When you combine it with village, it spawns zombies early game, so you're going to be stacked with like 4 zombies and a vampire. So right off the bat, you're going to be getting 15 health once you complete that fight for 3 loops. So it's 15, 30, 45. You get 45 max HP when you do this combination, and if you plant like 2 villages, that's another 45 health, so on and so forth. But anything that has a soul, ghosts have souls, so when they do spawn, that definitely helps you. And then there's a few other things, like the skeletons also are souls, so every time you kill these items, you get 3 HP. So it's really good to have Ancestral part of the deck, so you can build that max HP for the Necromancer, which is going to lead into the traits, guys, which is going to be really awesome. That's going to be the next thing we're going to talk about. But before I do, like I said, Battlefield gives you a really good chance of getting the Arsenal card. So getting Battlefield and then waiting for eventually the Arsenal card to drop for you is going to be really good, because you're going to have an extra item. Now, a key note I want to mention there is try to get your rings early on, and I'll say this later in the video, because you're going to see the percentages. They're going to take a hit. So a level 6 ring is like 20. Say the summon quality is like 26. Once you get an arsenal and you put it down, like all even level 20 rings are going to be like 19 to 20 summon quality. The percentage drops significantly. So if you can get the rings to have a max skeleton and summon quality right off the bat, and keep those for the entire match, you'll definitely want to do that, guys, if the summon quality percentage is around 26%, so on and so forth, because it'll keep you up there. So that's the one little piece of information I want to give you guys when it comes to when you drop the arsenal card. So wait till you don't need to drop that arsenal card anymore. It's like, say it's about to reach the point where it's about to burn. I would say like when it's probably like around the midway, be very conscious of it, and then if you have to play it, you just play it. So that's the one piece of information I want to give you when it comes to Battlefield. Try to get those rings early with the summon quality and max skeletons, because once you drop arsenal, you're going to have that extra slot, but it's going to drop the quality of the future items that you're going to be picking up. So yeah. All right, let's now talk about the traits, and then you're going to see the video of me just playing up to the second boss, I think, second boss, third boss, and then the final boss, guys, which is the toughest one. So you guys can see the progression of a really, really good Necromancer build. And if you really appreciate this, guys, I can't emphasize enough, hit that subscribe button, join us on Discord, show that love and support so I can continue to make amazing content. I love you guys tons. Let's talk about the traits. All right, guys, so we're going to be now talking about the traits of the Necromancer, which you're going to also see in the video, but the really good important ones are going to be Residual Heat and laying down one's life. I'm looking on the left side because I have my other video that I actually show that. But Residual Heat, receive plus 3 times loop HP after a skeleton's death. So whenever your skeleton dies, guys, you get healed first. This is going to help us with the sustain. And because, like I said, with the supplies with dinner table, we've been increasing that HP, and also with the combination of having not the arsenal, the Ancestral Crypt, increasing the max HP, that's going to also help, because the HP is based, the campfire, the loop is going to be considered off of the max HP percentage. It's like either 40% or 60%, whatever you have it spec'd into in this case. For the camp, let me see, in my case it's 60. So if you keep increasing the max HP on that, then the loop HP for Residual Heat is going to be really good. I keep saying Residual Heal. I'm so funny. Whatever. I'm still going to load this, but Residual Heat is going to be the thing that we care about. I'm like reading it now. I'm like, oh my God. But I'm like, I'm not going to edit it. I just went through all the content. The next thing that's going to be important is the combination of that with laying down one's life. So any direct damage to the hero will be evenly split between him and the skeletons. The more skeletons you have, guys, the more the damage is going to be split evenly across. But the cool thing about that is because they're going to be taking the damage, that means they're also going to be dying when it's direct damage to you. So when they eventually do die, the Residual Heat will heal you. So it's kind of like this balancing act of it constantly always bringing you health. So the more max HP you have, the bigger the loop heal becomes, and also when they die and you have a big health pool, you heal for a lot. So those are the top tier items that you would go for the traits. The next important ones, I would say, guys, Unseen Care is so amazing. Unseen Care is basically a permanent 0.5 bonus to energy armor for every summoned skeleton. So if you summon 2 skeletons, your magic armor, which you get from the necklace, you get an extra +1 permanently for that loop run. So if you summon 1,000 skeletons, you're going to have 500 magic armor HP. Really good for starting off the fight. You stack that like crazy. Like, I think when I did the last boss on loop 20 something or 20, I had like 1,200 magic armor HP from so much skeleton summonings. It was absolutely ridiculous, especially with the 400 attack speed summoning the skeletons when they died right away. So Unseen Care is the next thing underneath there, followed by Field Practice, which is amazing. And then after that, those are really like the 4 items. But like I said, Residual Heat, laying down one's life, And then the other ones you're going to want to look out for: Unseen Care, Field Practice. If you can get Field Practice in the early loops, that'll be really good. Field Practice is 0.25 to Skeleton's level for a loop, starting from the loop when the trait was received. So if you can get Field Practice in the early stages, it will be very powerful. If you get it near the end and you're about to stop playing, like you're about to fight the boss or something like that, Field Practice isn't going to be great. But Residual Heat's going to be amazing, laying down one's life. Those are the things. Unseen Care, so good as well, but I would say it's below those two. So that's what you're going to kind of go for the build, guys. Now I'm going to go into the video so you guys can actually see me fight the second, third, and fourth boss. All right, here we go. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. All right, guys, so we are doing a Necromancer grind for the final boss, or should I say final known boss. So I figured I should start it up by the second phase of the boss. The first one, you kind of just go through the motions of it. You try to get your speed up to at least like 78, somewhere around that percentage. But I figured, like, as we get closer, I might as well start recording so you guys can see what I'm building and what's going on. And I'll show you after this boss fight to see like how it actually works. So we're at 187% right now with attack speed, which is really good. We probably need to dial it back a bit because we're starting to deal with a lot of the wooden villages, which basically the higher your speed goes, the more you have a higher chance of killing yourself because they counter the Necromancer. When your skeletons are fighting in the early stages and you get to summon 5 skeletons, you can keep them around for a bit, but the villages start becoming very scary when you basically don't you have 200 attack speed. So you kind of need to really be cautious in the later levels of the game and make sure that you kill those wooden villages. So basically you have to have an Oblivion if you're trying to stack a lot of thickets. So we're just going through this first the second boss right now, and so far it's not too bad. We're dealing with some damage or whatever. The other thing I definitely do want to mention is that in our card set we do have Battlefield, and the reason we have Battlefield is because it gives us a chance of getting the gold card arsenal, which lets us put an extra item here, because right now we're using Ancestral Crypt to increase our max HP, which is amazing. And so far it seems like a really smooth run for this right now. But yeah, I learned about the Battlefield being able to give an extra gold card, so having Ancestral is really like as the starting, and then using the other one to basically give you that extra item is really amazing. Oh my god. Which I was trying to show you right now, which was Arsenal, which is the one that they gave us. So now we just got a new thing here. I could go for this to increase the summon quality, but so far our summon quality is at 55%. It seems to be working out right now where I'm going at that low percentage, but I have 5 skeletons, so I'm gonna keep it at that, and we'll continue to progress, and as we go more we'll see what we should kind of do and what we should alter. So wait for the next boss, guys. I'm just gonna skip to the next scene so you guys can see it, because it'll be a long grind. Right, guys, so we are back. We now are up to the third boss. Our attack speed is at 285%, as you can see here. This was a foolish move. Don't do this with the Ancestral Crypt. This was me experimenting to see if the tiles were going to double it to be, because it says adjacent landscape tiles. This technically is like a landscape tile of some sort, but I guess it's classified more of a structure, so it doesn't really double anything. So because of that, yeah, I lost out basically on some really good speed I could have got early on. So don't do this. Put it in an isolated area where you're not going to have to deal with the river to double the points up. But as you see, I'm kind of just looping downward, and I'm just kind of going in that fashion just because I was kind of putting the tiles in a certain way and trying to get the bonuses or whatever. So we got, I'm sorry, we got around 285%. And what I'm going to do later is I'm going to loop back up here and then maybe start working around. Because you're using Battlefield, please avoid using the what is it called, the river next to that, because it creates shipwreck, and shipwreck is actually very difficult to deal with. I actually dealt with it during this round, and it kind of caused some damage, so I use an Oblivion to destroy it. But I always keep using Thickets accordingly, and I'm sorry if you hear Sky in the background. You gotta make sure that when you're using the Thickets, just have those Oblivions, just because those wooden things now could really kill us, especially with us summoning really quick. We're able to get up to 6 max skeletons up because we have the max skeleton for the shield now. We have the max skeleton for this ring over here, and also, sorry, I should probably shift my camera 1 second. It's gonna be a little ghetto, but forgive me. We have the shield that uses the max skeleton. We have the ring that uses that has the max skeleton, and we also have this other ring and this weapon. So we are at 75% summon quality. We were at like 55, I think, or 50 last time when you saw in the second boss. But having this extra item, because we obtained it from the battlefield, it dropped as the gold card. It was really nice in helping us to continue. So we're going to be taking care of this boss right now, but I'm going to shift my camera back. I'm going to put this back. And now let's see how good we do here. We also have the outpost to kind of help with some stuff, but the main thing is the forge. We definitely put a forge here to kind of help us. It's going to sacrifice some items, but we'll be able to get 20% damage reduction, which is really nice. So you see here we have that buff right there. So we're gonna take, for 30 hits, we're gonna have plus 20% defense, and also having the shield is really nice with this. So we're gonna be summoning really quick. We got those two in the back to continue helping with the damage output, which is really nice. Our shield is kind of taking a dip here. I'm hoping we can get a tank soon. There we go. When we can't get a tank out, that's when it causes like a little scary scariness for me. But we're able to do so far so good. They're like the tank is getting the crit when it comes out, which is really nice. Now both of them are out. Yeah, the tank coming out to take the damage is really helping us here. And now we have to deal with this final wolf. Oh my god, now we gotta worry about just straight up damage output because we don't have a tank. Alright, there we go. So we're able to do that, which is really awesome. Oh wait, hold on. I do kind of want to show what we have so far as the talents. We did have to get that +1 resurrection charge. We do have counterattack, where if we take direct damage, they will counterattack or whatever. This is one of my favorite guys. This is the one, laying down one's life is really nice. If we get the other one where when they die, it heals us based on the loop HP times a certain multiply, I think 3, then that would be really good. And we have field practice, which, you know, every loop we get plus 0.25 level on our skeleton by default. I think we got that at loop 4, so we're doing not bad so far. I'm gonna go really far into this before we face this final boss, because we're gonna require it to be really high in order to kind of handle it. At least that's what I'm kind of feeling at this point. So we're gonna try to fill up this whole space up with as much good real estate as we can. We're gonna avoid creating villages that can make those bandits come, because the bandits can destroy our gear and it's too scary. The only time you should try to, it's similar to the thickets, the only time you should try to build villages is when you have an Oblivion card to destroy that village stack. That does happen, because villagers are just very dangerous, especially in this stage of the game. So we definitely don't want any of our items to be destroyed that we have equipped, and they have a 5% chance of destroying it, and if it's 3 of them attacking, it's 5% for each of them. So it can happen pretty frequent, especially during a battle, because they'll get maybe like 10 hits, especially with the Necromancer, making the matches last really long because it's a lot of summoning, and then the creatures are basically killing. So I'm gonna pause it here, and we're gonna continue into the next fight, guys. So I will see you guys in a bit. Alright guys, we are at the final boss. If you kind of saw how we had it in the video, we had these rivers just going all the way down and all the way up across, till eventually we were able to get 403 attack speed. We are at the 400% mark, guys. That is basically like 4 hits every time before they would attack, kind of thing. Really amazing. Now, to build an ultimate build kind of like this, the thing I definitely just want to emphasize is Residual Heat with laying down one's life is so good. We were grinding till we eventually got that. We had field practice in the beginning, then we had the Amrakan's technique. We eventually got Unseen Care, which was a nice turnabout, because getting that permanent armor damage, we literally have like 1200 armor. Even if you take a look at what the max level 23 is, 571 magic HP, we topple that completely. We literally double the necklaces, so that is really good. So if you're not able to get Residual Heat or laying down one's life, the next thing you're going to want to go for is Unseen Care, guys. After that, we just basically kind of deal with whatever we can get at that point. Counterattack isn't bad. And field practice is kind of really good. Like, when I would say, like, what's tier 1, Residual Heat with laying down one's life, what's considered like tier 1 to tier 2. I mean, Unseen Care is still considered tier 1 in my book, but Unseen Care would soon follow, followed by, I would say, field practice. Those kind of would go well together, and then anything else afterwards. But honestly, I do love Residual Heat and laying down one's life. Then Unseen Care is after that. Now, if we look at the stats of what we did, guys, we basically have max skeletons at 7. So when you are trying to build this ultimate necro build, guys, this necromancer build, the main thing you want to do is you want to start out with Ancestral Keep. Don't put it here. Don't put it at the top left, kind of like I did. Just put it somewhere random where you're not going to really use the rivers and stuff, so you can max out the forest. We do that curvature to kind of get that really triple effect of just using one thicket, but then using the river to kind of multiply it significantly by 3. But we started out with Ancestral Keep. We placed Battlefield till they eventually gave us the Arsenal card, so we can actually use another thing. Now, to keep in mind is when you're using this Arsenal card after the fact, once you place it on the field, all the items moving forward will be losing a 15% quality reduction. So, like I said kind of before in the previous section of the video, if you're able to get like these 2 rings ASAP, that would be absolutely amazing. Obviously, the amulet with the magic HP isn't bad, but if you do get the Unseen Care benefit, then this doesn't matter anymore. But trying to get these 2 rings before you drop the Arsenal card on the field is really what you want to do, because look at that level 6. Level 6 gives you summon quality 26%. If you look at a level 19, it's at 20%. So it makes it really tough if you really want to get high on the summon quality. I feel comfortable when the summon quality is at 80%. That is really good. The fact that we have the max skeletons at 7 is nice. I really did wish we could get a nice Grimoire to increase our level, because we are at 22. But we have been increasing our field practice every time we loop. So every 4 loops we were getting a level. So it's not bad that we were doing that. But I really did wish. But we do everything that we have been going for. We've been going for summon quality, max skeletons, summon quality, max skeletons, summon quality, max skeletons. The regen is really nice here. But those are the things we were trying to go for. This one, the fact that we had the max skeleton here is really nice. And it has really good defense for us, because it has the 40 defense as the baseline and the 11, so it definitely helps us. But regen really does help, especially if you're speccing into those regen items inside the supply section. But this is what we have as the build, guys. 2300 max HP because Ancestral Crypt, so that's amazing. 1292 max HP because of the Unseen Care trait. 7 skeletons. Summon quality is 84. So once that armor drops, basically whenever our skeletons die, we are going to be getting 40% or 60%, whatever your camp your camp is on the loop. You're going to be getting that amount. You're going to be getting a significant amount. So the main important thing is that if you increase your max HP, the Residual Heat becomes much more beneficial. So that's the important part. So that's why Ancestral Crypt is so good. because it really helps with the max HP to increase the looping, and you can actually spec into the supplies to make this a little more powerful, which is really nice. So let's see what we get here, guys. Let's go for it. We got to do a few more fights before it happens. If you don't realize, we actually put the forge prior to the boss fight because I do want this to kind of help us out. You see, we can go with the max skeleton to get that extra, but we will lose some regen. I think it's worth it because we do have the residual healing now at this point. One more HP every second isn't going to help me much more. So let's get, oh my god. So what are we going to go? We're going to go from 40, 51. We're going to go 51 to 65 defense. And that actually isn't bad at all. There we go. So we still have max skeletons. That actually is a really nice trade-off. We still get 1.3 health a second. That's not bad, but like I said, the skeletons dying is really what's going to help us here. And once we prep those back skeletons, they stay there permanently from what it looks like. They don't get attacked, so it's really nice. So right now we're just trying to end this off so we could actually face this boss, guys. I'm very curious to see how we're going to do. This is our first time with an overpowered Necro build, so I'm really excited to show you this, guys, because I feel like I did a really strong build here, and I think you guys should follow suit as well. Before I actually do the guide, I'm just going to show you. This is what we have, guys. And we are at loop 22. I really want to go higher on the loops, but this is where we're going to stop. We're going to do it here, guys. We're going to make it happen. It would have been nice if we'd have got like a good grimoire here. You're the one who no longer exists, already perished by my hands. What does it mean? It means my business is not finished yet. To arms. Here we go, guys. Let's find out how we do on the damage output. This is going to be a little scary. But so far, we're doing 183 damage. Really good. Our freaking armor is just absolutely amazing right now. There we go. We got to get... Why can't we get... Oh, because he removed the skeleton buff. He's removing the items as we fight. So whatever benefit it gives us puts us in a precarious position. So the shield, when we lost that, we actually started losing a lot of health. So far, we're doing good. We need to continue. We need to continue. Oh, he's not letting us summon. He's not letting us summon. That's so scary. He even took out people in the back, which is interesting. Our health went back up, which is awesome. How crazy is this boss fight? Like, the simple fact that we're dealing with this type of stuff. Oh my god, the 400% attack speed. Definitely when we continue to attack, I mean, it drops our bar. I mean, the summon quality doesn't matter on this battle. We're basically splitting the damage with the residual healing and the laying down one's life. It's keeping us afloat, which is really nice. Look how overpowered it is for this final boss, guys. So far, we're at the 50% mark. I'm not gonna try to say anything here because he could take us out if he wanted to. And it's not to dinner, fam. It's not the dinner he's trying to take us out. This is a little scary. Okay, there we go. We need to get back up there. We need a little more healing. There we go. We're back in business, fam. This is gonna be a very long battle. We can't get that. We can't get that third one. What is he blocking? Oh man. I hate when he blocks the shield. When he blocks the shield, he puts us in a dangerous position. Because we lose our defense. It's so scary. But the fact that they're taking some of the damage as well is really nice. Like, it splits the damage with them, so it kind of keeps us safe. This boss is no joke. Oh, man. Oh, no. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. Okay, we're back in business. Yo, every time that happens, it's like, oh my god. So he drops it to 396. So we do actually have a little attack speed for one of the items. Our potions are really coming in clutch right now. We almost used all of them. Stacking potions is never a bad thing. And I'll definitely be showing you the supply build and all that stuff that we've done, guys, after the fact. There we go. Look at that healing. That healing, once those skeletons die, really help us out there. It's basically like we just regain our stuff. Good. Nice. Even the day ticked. The fight is happening so long that the day basically passed. Oh god. There we go. As long as we could get one skeleton out, just makes it really nice. Oh, that feels so good. Regardless, like, even like how overpowered this build is, it's just like they definitely made this boss a pain in the butt. So it's good that we kind of split the items up accordingly on how we needed it. The max HP with the residual healing definitely does help bring us back up, just because it's healing for so much. Very exciting to actually show you how we did this, guys. So if you guys are curious what a legit Necromancer build is, this is it right here. So if you guys were having issues, now you kind of know how to basically kill this boss and do it. Oh, we're almost at the final stages, guys. Oh god. We still didn't lose. We didn't use our revival, by the way. We still got 2 revives. That's the cool thing about it. But we are doing a decent amount of damage. We can't get that last skeleton out because every time one item is being consumed. And he is done. That's a cool animation for the retro. Oh, he's sitting on the throne bleeding out? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, if this is your first time here and you're watching from YouTube, definitely be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you ever come to Twitch, definitely be sure to hit that follow button. Come join us on Discord. The link is below in the YouTube description. Also, last but not least, I want to say major shout outs to the sponsors. If you guys also wanted to financially support the stream, definitely be sure to check out that YouTube description below. There is a Patreon link. And if you can't support financially, don't worry, guys. There's other ways you can actually show support. That's getting the word out, sharing the content, letting friends and loved ones know about this this channel. Tell them to come and hang out. Come join us on Discord. You will not regret it. It's the best community / family ever. It says it right there on the freaking board. Yo, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you guys next time. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see next, what you think about the video, and so on. I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.